Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tell Me More with me, Tony Moore. I hope you guys have enjoyed my interviews today. The day started off with John Clarence Stewart from Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, followed by Eureka O'Hara from RuPaul's Drag Race and the new HBO show We're Here. And now that you're here, I get to have a little kiki with somebody that I absolutely love and adore and want to steal all her wardrobe the second she wants to give it away to Goodwill. I am talking about a choreographer, artistic director, James Alsop. She gives me life every time I see her. She has worked with Beyonce, J-Lo. She has choreographed for TV and film. And y'all are about to get your life. We also gonna talk about Miss Rona tried to take her down, but she said no to the devil and rebuked it. So James, I know she gonna have like wine and hair. Like she got a look going. Watch. Look. I knew it. I knew it. I said she gonna have a look and she gonna have a glass of wine.
Look, now hold on. Okay. So usually I would have a glass of wine, but now I'm only doing 2 nights a week. So I do Tuesday, booze day, and Sunday, fun day.
Oh.
But that's only because Corona snatched me up, so I'm trying to keep my Corona snatch.
Listen. She said, oh, Miss Rona.
Yeah.
She can, and I'm gonna keep it.
Honey, I went to that mirror. I said, "Who is this?"
Like, look, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait, I didn't even have to pay for no surgery. Oh, thank you, Rona.
Hi, Boo Boo. How are you?
Hi, Tommy.
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and put that hair in a bag along with all the clothes that I've been trying to steal for years.
This is Drunken Love. You know,
yes.
I name all my hair. She's Drunken Love. I'm like, okay.
Okay, so let's talk about, first off, Miss Rona tried to get all up in you. She tried to take you down. You said, no, devil, it's a liar. I rebuke thee.
All of it.
So walk us through, because see, and this is what I'm glad that you're going to shed some light on this, because I feel like during this whole thing, there are spectrums of people like taking this seriously. Like there are some people who think, oh, it's all a conspiracy, da 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 da. And then there are people who are walking around in hazmat suits talking about, I'm not gonna get it. And I feel like because so many people are not directly affected, that they don't realize the impact that it has. So you, unfortunately, it done got up in your system.
She got me.
What happened? Walk us through it.
I landed in New York City the day the entire city shut down. I was landing there for work. I was to do a television show and to go see some shows and stuff. And so I was like, okay, New York, let's go to work. Let's get this coin. She shut down. And then I just stayed, and I was supposed to be there for a week and a half. I stayed for 5 days. I left early. I hung out with my best friend Friday night, and then I hung out with a bunch of people on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I left Sunday night. And Monday, I started feeling a little funky. But nobody that I hung out with got sick. Nobody.
Right.
So that first week, I felt like I didn't have the regular symptoms, but I knew something was wrong. No fever, no coughing, no labored breathing. But I just felt weird. But then that Friday and Saturday, I felt brand new. I was like, okay, I'm good. Never mind. It was just a quick flu. Then Monday of that second week hit, honey, and I felt like I had got hit by 2 buses from 2 different directions.
Oh, my God.
It was pure misery. I have never felt like that. I don't wish it upon anybody. It was one of the worst things I've ever gone through. I'm so glad I made it out on the other side. And then to know that there's a worse version of what I went through when I thought what I was going through was horrible.
Yeah.
But people are being hospitalized, and I just went through it at home. it's just crazy to me. I'm just so blessed and so thankful. Thank you, God, that I made it through when so many other
Yes.
people aren't. It was crazy. It was crazy.
I just can't imagine because like I feel like once this started, we were all kind of like, okay, I was sick in December. My hand, am I okay? You know, like we all
Right?
because even I was and I don't ever get sick. Like, you know, she has like a little filter. But like that's just like that's when you call your mom and be like, okay, what are the good old country remedies that I need to do in order to like fix this?
Yep.
So I got sick in January, and I was like, oh, okay, not really feeling like myself. Um, Rested, felt fine. Then, you know, now come March, it's like Miss Rona. And I was like, now wait a minute.
Right?
And
Right?
I was like, oh, Jesus. Like,
And see, that's the tricky part because it's during like cold and flu season. So
right.
people think they're getting like a common cold or a really bad cold or a really bad flu. And
Hmm.
lo and behold, somebody could have died. And that's why
Right.
I wish people took it seriously because I cannot strongly say where I got it from. To know none of my friends that I was with got sick. But
Hmm.
then I'm like, well, maybe I got it on the airplane, or maybe I got it in the airport, or maybe I got it in my hotel that was in Times Square. Like, to not be able to pinpoint, people do need to take it way more serious so
Yeah.
that we can really curb how this is affecting us. And so we can go back to some kind of sense of normalcy.
Yeah. And so basically you did self quarantine
Yeah,
for two
I
weeks.
got back. I remember the day. I'll always remember this day. I left New York March 15th that
Hmm.
evening. And I
Hmm.
got, instead of coming back to LA, I came to North Carolina. Less
Hmm.
populated. I was like, we'll be less affected. I could probably, whatever. Still didn't know if I was sick or not, but I just really didn't want to risk getting my parents sick. So I immediately isolated myself in this very room where I am.
Hmm.
I was quarantined and isolated for 22 days. Yes,
Oh,
yes, ma'am.
how did you ever like girl, like how did you what 22 days, like there are people there have been people who are quarantined for 7 days and they are just like,
Yeah.
ah,
Well, I mean, when it knocks you down, it knocks you down. So you
yeah,
really start counting at that point. But at first, I just wanted to be safe. And so that first week, I thought I was fine
yeah,
because I started to feel better. But then when that second week came, it was like, well, good luck. And then the first week, I tried to call the health department because the government was like, well, if you left New York, you probably have it. Just call and be safe. But I
yeah,
called the health department twice. They turned me down. And they were like, well, call your family physician. I don't have a family physician in Charlotte, North Carolina.
yeah,
So I called my parents, and they brought me in 30 minutes. But this was the following Wednesday.
uh,
I was in the thick of it, and I mean the thick of it. Like it was, I was at the worst point probably when I
yeah,
went to the doctor. And then after that, you take more time because they don't really know when you started. So
yeah,
then, of course, they're going to err on the side of precaution. So I had to wait a little bit longer. And I was like, at this point, I don't care. Like, I just need to get better. And they were like,
yeah.
yeah, here you go. Take some Tylenol and wait it out.
You want me to do, you want me to just take, because how I'm feeling feels like I need more than just Tylenol.
Tylenol. They're like, well, they don't have they just don't have the resources. And that's
Yeah,
why I really feel for our healthcare workers because they are doing the absolute best of their ability, but
hmm,
they just don't have the resources. And I'm a
yeah,
proponent of helping out, having gone through it. How are we the number one country in the world so
right.
unprepared? So how am I getting turned down by the health department, myself, and so many others? So how,
Uh,
like,
Unfortunately, we don't have strong leadership whose ego got in the way and got rid of some of the things that prior people put in place in case this ever were to happen.
you mean the pandemic response team? I'll say it. And he chopped it, and then
Cut.
chopped funding to the CDC, huh? And then got hit with a pandemic, huh? And now
Real
at
interesting.
the risk of American lives, at the risk
Yeah.
of people's lives.
Yeah.
That's like, you'd rather people die than to say, no, China, let me close these borders. Ain't not nary a school closed because of no Ebola, because of no Zika, because of no H1N1, because of no bird flu. Because somebody who's very smart prior to said,
Yeah.
Africa, y'all shut down. Y'all
Yeah.
ain't coming over here.
It's like, you know what? Let me just clink, clink. Let me
Okay.
hold up. And then, okay, we good now.
We
Then
good.
open
Y'all
up.
stay over there real quick so we can fix this, because
Yeah.
that's what an intelligent person does.
Well, that's what somebody with common sense does. But I don't know who raised him, and I don't know who his pastor is, but it's all wrong.
Not my church, not my ministry.
I don't praise that not one little bit. Not at all. It don't belongs to me or in my spirit. I
I
rebuke it.
rebuke that. I rebuke it.
Well, I'm very happy that you are doing so well and that you were able to get through that. And I'm sure that was just such a scary time and and especially not knowing what it is, how to because normally when you got a cold, it's like, boom, give me my CPAC, good.
Right.
But
Take no Theraflu.
right, a couple of Vicks ad on the chest, and rubbing alcohol on the temples. And a bottle of ginger ale will solve
Okay.
everything.
And an onion on the bottom of your foot. An onion, and you got to break the fever.
You got okay, like that, girl. But I'm just glad that you're doing well, and you look stunning as always. Like you get on my nerves.
You gave me a reason to abuse this space, so I took it. I took the opportunity.
Listen, and the beat has been beaten to submission.
She has committed a felony, honey. I was like, well, what are we going to do today? We got this interview, honey. I got all the time today to get ready. Let me go ahead and bap.
Now, the first time we kikied was when you were on Lounging with Tony, my web series,
Yes.
for Leave It on the Floor,
Yes.
which I realize now, Leave It on the Floor was kind of ahead of the times because now we got Pose and all this kind of stuff. But it was 7 years ago now that Leave It on the Floor came out.
Almost 10 years.
It was almost 10 years. Yeah.
We shot it in 2010 and it came out in 2011.
It was everything. You are still my favorite character in that. Like, just living your best life. Like,
Honey,
what
I
was?
learned so much. I learned so much from. That was my first time on like a big set. I mean, it was an indie film, but
Yeah.
it was my first time having a role in a movie.
Yeah.
And it took us to I'm so thankful for the opportunity. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Sheldon.
Mm-hmm.
Because it took us to the Toronto International Film Festival, the San Francisco like it took us everywhere, Atlanta,
Yeah.
New York. And it really was a great film to inspire others.
She's good. She's good.
Kim Burris, I'm just in awe that she was the composer of the music in the film.
Yeah.
Because she nailed it. She was so good. And then having Frank Gatson as the creative director, he's a genius. It's just, I can't believe I got to be a part of it. And because of that film, I got to meet Beyonce, and that's how my career, because of that film, that's my career started.
Okay, so before we get to that point, because here's the thing, I love Beyonce. Like, she is the soundtrack of my life. But I have literally always been 1 degree away from meeting Beyonce. Like, I know you, I've met Jaquel, I've met Ashley.
Yes.
But it's like, When is she coming?
Okay,
When is
okay.
she coming through?
As soon as
Oh,
you find out, let me know. You probably know before I do.
someone asked me why I have a J on my mug, and it's for Judy because my podcast that I do, I would give these to the guests because they were my good Judies.
Yes, I thought you were about to say James, but it's fine. I'll take Judy.
I have this mug with the J on it because I knew that I was interviewing James, so it's for James. This is the James
Oh,
mug.
I'm so honored
Yeah.
and thankful.
So how did you even get into dance?
Ooh,
Like little tiny talk for Christ, just
yeah.
tip
So
tapping.
I was born in Virginia in the sticks, and in the DMV. You know, you're in the DMV because almost every house has a basement, right?
Uh,
And so in our basement, I used to teach my older sisters and my brother. I have a twin. I used to just teach them dances, and I would be the person. I'd be like, "This is 5," and I'm like 9. Keep this in mind. I'm 9, and I'm like 5 didn't go like that. Like 5 was like that. I was like, so they're together. So that's how it started. Then we had to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, right before we turned 14.
um,
And I was like, we're moving to a big city. I can like go to a dance studio and take dance classes. So that's how it started. I was the giant in ballet with the 3-year-olds. That was me.
um, can we talk about and revisit for just a second a little reality show on Bravo that you were on called
Okay.
Stepping Up and Dance?
Oh,
It's weird because I feel like I watched the show, but I don't remember watching the show. But
good,
like,
good.
but I knew about it. Okay, how was that experience for you? Because this is like reality TV. It's a competition. I felt like it was Bravo's way of saying, "Wait, well, so you think you can dance was out then?"
Yes.
So it's like they're like, "Okay, we gonna do it too."
Yeah.
What was that whole experience like?
It was different. It was weird. I was so young and so naive. I wish I understood then what I understand now about it because I just wanted to dance. I just wanted to share my gift of dance with these 11 other amazing people. And
Hmm.
I wanted to show the world, I thought it was going to be a platform to show the world what to do. But
Yeah,
it was reality. It was a reality competition. So if I was more in that mentality of like competing and playing the game, maybe I would have lasted longer. I was only on 2 episodes, guys. But it was also eye-opening, like having Mel B from the Spice Girls speak so highly of you, and then Vincent Patterson as a judge, and Nancy O'Mara is just, and Jerry Mitchell was our mentor. It
yeah,
was really, really full of information. It was a huge teaching moment, learning moment for me. Like
yeah.
I learned a lot about production. I paid attention a lot to the background, to the
Hmm.
people making it happen, which is another thing. I wasn't focused, but I learned a lot about the other side of the camera
Yeah,
in that show. It was fun. I don't regret a single second of it. I'm
yeah.
very happy I got to do it, but I just realized how young I was and how dumb I was. That's what I take away from it. I mean, I was a lady, but it was pre-transition. I got eliminated because I was dancing like a lady. I was like, what do you want from me?
It's like this is me. This is my gift. This is what I
Yes,
do.
this is who I am.
But it's so weird that like that was such an early time that I think if it happened later,
Yep.
it probably would have been a completely different narrative.
I completely agree. I loved what they were trying to do by trying to have an answer to So You Think You Can Dance and Dancing with the Stars. I love that they wanted to mosey into that world. But I mean, it's weird. It's tough. It's just tough.
Yeah. I feel like any reality TV competition is not how, as a viewer, how we view it. There's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes because, first and foremost, they're creating a TV show. So they need the cast of characters to act accordingly. And then, secondly, it's the competition.
Yes. And what I'll give credit to for any reality competition, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily like just an unscripted show, but
Mm-hmm.
for a competition, the first 2 to 4 seasons, if it makes it for a long time, are most likely the best because that's when they're figuring it out. So that's when it's most authentic.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was in that world with Step It Up and Dance because we were figuring it out along with the creators of the show.
Yeah.
And, so with that, I really loved it because it wasn't as crazy behind the scenes as it can be, as we know.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It was not that at all. We had a blast. The cast and I really enjoyed our time. The choreographers were amazing, but we were just everybody was figuring it out. And I think they actually leaned on us more to figure it out because I guess they thought it was going to roll out for them. And maybe that's what kind of shot them in the foot.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience.
Yeah. So then kind of fast forward to 2011. Like, I feel like 2011 was like your year. Like, a lot happened. Because I remember when I interviewed you for Leave It on the Floor, I feel like either a couple of days before or the week before, you had just gotten the BMA for Beyonce, right?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
It was later in that summer. It was August. Yes.
Yeah. It was like right around that time. And I was like, you doing movies?
And you were our first interview for Leave It on the Floor, I think. I think you were our first, as like some of the cast, I think you were literally the first. So that had to be it. Yeah.
Because listen, I was like, let's talk about this film. Let me try to get it out there as much as possible. Please try to teach me how to vote. However.
Yeah. I remember it. And I was wearing flip-flops. Ew.
But guess what? You did it. But let me tell you, I definitely should have stretched first because you showed me how to duck walk. And when I tried to get up, I said,
Don't get me down there now. She ain't coming back up.
Listen, don't get me down there because I'm just gonna sit down and then pull me back up later. But because of Leave It on the Floor and with you working with Frank, that opened the door for you to work with Beyonce.
There are 2 scenes that I got to work on choreographically and Leave It on the Floor, along with acting.
Yeah.
And the very last scene of the movie, during the credits, Frank, that night, he said, grab 3 of the hottest girls, you got an hour, come up with something. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, huh? I gotta remember what I'm doing. And then it was myself, Ashley Everett, Alex Kay, and Stephanie Mosley, rest in peace, love her. And I just threw some choreography on them and did it. It was, I'll say it was major, and it's mostly major because of the girls. They did that.
Yeah.
Me. So then Frank saw it. He loved it. He said, you got to show Beyonce. Beyonce would love that. That's so powerful for her next. She would love it. And I was like, I got to show who? I got to do what? And so then next thing I know, I'm flying in New York. Me, her, and Alvin Ailey. Couldn't hear the song because it was the first single. So they sent the sample. And I was like, but if this isn't the song and it has a different vibe, then I shouldn't choreograph because it's probably not going to feel the same.
Yeah.
So I choreographed a thing before I got to New York. Got to Ailey and I could listen to the song because it was in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
And Frank was like, okay, I'm going to just leave. You live with the song, come up with whatever, and I'll be right back. I was like, oh, okay. And so like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours later, the doors open and Frank walks in with Beyonce and her bodyguard. And I didn't know she was coming. Oh! I said, oh my God. And it's literally like, the doors in Alvin Ailey are those push-in doors, the double doors.
Yeah.
And it's literally some mess out of a movie. Like if she was on stage, the doors open and the wind caught her hair.
Yes.
Like Beyonce would. And
Yeah.
she just walked in. I was so nervous. I'll never forget. I was so nervous. And she really put me at ease because I have minx nails, unlike on the quarantine where I've never seen my natural nails in like 5 years. She was just like, let me see your nails. I love your nails. And I don't know why. That just put me at ease. I was like, oh, it's the minx girl.
But like that had to feel like so much pressure that like Queen Bee walks in and it's just like, okay, show me what you just worked
Yeah.
on for the past hour and a half, 2 hours.
And it doesn't feel fully rehearsed. It doesn't feel like it's in my body. And I'm like, I have to show her now? Like, give me
Yeah.
a night. Let me sleep on it. Like, damn
Yeah.
it, I'm going to sleep on it. And no, and that's what I appreciate having worked in that world for so long, is that you realize, you got to be on top of your game at all
Yeah.
times. You
Yeah.
never know what's going to come your way. And I really learned that. I mean, Run the World was my first anything as a choreographer.
Yeah.
Who
Wow.
can say that? Like, what? Who
Yeah.
can say that? And I'm so blessed that I was deemed worthy enough to be in that position to do that. Because I'm sitting here working alongside Danielle Polanco and Cheryl Murakami, Jeffrey Page, Cliff McGee, people I looked up to my whole itty bitty dance career at that time. And I was like, I'm the new kid on the block. What? But it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. I love that.
What did you take most from working with Beyonce and that whole camp? Just for your creative spirit, and also just for you as a person, and growing from that experience, because we all grow from our experiences. What all did you consume from that?
The main thing I took from all of it, and mainly from her, was to be great and don't apologize for being great. Tell yourself great. It's okay to know that you're great, and be great at what you do. Don't do anything to stifle your gift. And when I tell you, she was full throttle at everything she did. She was a machine, and she didn't even think twice about it. It was just like, I gotta dance. Okay. You would teach her the 8 count, and she would repeat that 8 count like 6 times. Even if you weren't looking, she would just like get it in her body. And that's because she wanted to be great. She wanted everything she did to be great. And she was unapologetic. And I got to a point where I was okay with saying, hey, James, you're great. Because if you're not going to say it to yourself, then you're going to go search for somebody else to give it to you. And they're not.
Right.
Don't nobody be like that. Don't nobody care about
Right.
it.
Exactly.
So I have to be my number one cheerleader. So I learned her to not be afraid of being.
I have done Girl Who Runs the World in the club many a times. I'm probably doing it wrong, but I do it how my body responds to it. I like, and I still remember when her documentary came out. And I think I always tell you this every time. That one part with you in the red shirt, and you're just like, yeah! I'm like, ah! I live for it. Like, what was it like to not only like teach her the choreography, but then to see it, to see it like in the video, to see it on stage, to help her with the visual elements of some of the live performances. Like, was there ever a moment that you stood there and thought, wow, like,
Absolutely, every moment.
yeah,
It's surreal. It's surreal because I think back to my 9-year-old self. Like, I didn't really see people like me. I didn't see Black trans women teaching people in the forefront how to dance, or I didn't see like this. I just wanted to be what I didn't see. And then to be in that world and to be invited into that world to share my gift with someone else of Beyonce stature, it is incredibly humbling. And it's it's surreal because you only dream of it. You only dream of it. And you believe in it to a certain extent, and then you move to LA, and then your career doesn't hit like you think it will.
Yeah.
So then you start to kind of doubt yourself. And at the year that we were doing Leave It on the Floor, that's when I was at my lowest point, actually, in my career, and like thinking about leaving LA. And then it just hit and it snowballed. So it's just really humbling, and it is surreal to be in this warehouse watching these ladies do choreography that you contributed to, and then to know that it's going to be on an award show that the world is going to see. It's like,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
How did I end up around? And then literally Beyonce is standing right behind me. She trusted me enough. I still can't believe that I can say that, but
Yeah.
it's just like, it's humbling. It's so humbling.
It's interesting to hear you say that you were at your lowest, and that you were thinking about like leaving LA and like, leaving, because I think we all reach that point.
Yeah.
We all reach that point where we're like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not meant to do this. In my heart, I feel like I should be, but I don't know where this door of opportunity is that everyone keeps talking about.
Right.
And it takes one person to see you for the talented person that you are and to give you that opportunity. And this is another story that reminds you of that. The fact that Frank Gatson saw what you had been preparing to do.
Yeah.
Up until that point when you were given the opportunity.
Yes.
And then said, all right, now, you've shown what you can do. I believe what you can do. Here's the opportunity for you. And you were ready for that. Like, that's all it takes is just for somebody to believe in you other than yourself. We tell each other every day, you're great, you're good, like you're going to make it. But it takes someone else to say you are. And here's that opportunity.
And you have to hold strong to that mantra when you believe it, because then somebody else will believe it. They see how much you believe in yourself. And I'm so thankful to Frank that he literally saw something.
Yeah.
And was like, okay, we can do something with this. So much of my career is based off of Frank Gatson giving me the opportunity to work with. I worked with Beyonce for years. And I worked with Jennifer Lopez.
Yes.
That was because of Frank. And before that, I got to work with Kelly Rowland. That was because of Frank.
Yeah.
I was in New York, and I was in 2 days of rehearsals for the Super Bowl, her first Super Bowl. That was because of Frank. And I'm so thankful that he trusted me enough, and he saw something enough in me to be like, you're ready. You can do this. And it's all because of where my career really started to go off.
That's amazing. What's like your, because I can only imagine you have many. Your like favorite moment, choreography of that, like during like working with her. Like, what's that one that you're like? It gives you goosies. It gives you goosebumps. You're like, oh, it's so good. I know it's a lot.
I go into every job like it's my first job ever, my first big break. So I feel giddy, but everyone has a special meaning to me. I will say, School in Life, when Beyonce did it for her Atlantic City Revel concert, that will just always have a special place in my heart, because I remember where I was when I prepped it, and I didn't prep it for Beyonce. I was in North Carolina, and I had to teach a class, and I didn't do anything to prep for the class. Like 2 hours before I had to teach, I came up with a routine.
Yeah.
And it was School in Life, and then I posted it online, and B saw it, and she really wanted to learn it.
Yeah.
That turned into me doing most of the numbers. Cheryl Murakami had some choreography in it as well, but I worked most of the number, and that was the first time I had like my own big number on a stage. And that has a very, school in life has a very special place in my heart. If I had to choose one, if I was on my deathbed, if I was about to go, all of them are special.
Yeah. And all of them I have done at some point in life.
Yeah, I know you have. I've seen you on the
Listen.
streets where you busted it out.
Oh my God, listen, let me tell you, in the west of the Hollywood, a Beyonce song will come on. It's
Baby,
almost as if they felt the spirit of Tony coming through.
honey, you could be on the sidewalk or you could be on the other side of the velvet rope. Miss Tony's going off.
From top to bottom. Now again,
Baby.
I may not have it down exactly like beat, right? But you can't tell me in that moment I am not Beyonce.
Okay, you got the gist of it. That's all that matters, honey. You got the spirit of it. As long as you got the spirit, that's something you can't teach. You got the spirit of it, we good to go.
But you know, that was like looking at your career, there were some things that I didn't even know because you are so, to me, you're so humble and so low key about what you do. And I feel like that's because you truly love what you do, that you don't feel like you have to boast about it. But like, I didn't know you did Booty with J-Lo until, you know, I was doing my research because, you know, I'm a professional. I want to prep because I know you, but I want to make sure I know. And I said, now, wait a minute. Booty, and then I started looking at the movies and I was like, of course he did. Like, of course she's the one that's like getting J-Lo to like shimmy and of course she's the one. Of course she's the one.
That it was yet again with Frank. He asked me, I'll never forget, Frank would be real sick. He was like, take a listen to the song Booty. And the song had been out for so long. That was everybody's favorite song from that album.
Yeah.
And I was like, Frank, who don't know this song by now? Like, I love this song. And he was like, okay, well, come meet me at this address, Jennifer Lopez's house. And he and Jaquel had been there working on it.
Yeah.
And Jaquel and I just started vibing, and we just started coming up with stuff. And it was just Jaquel, myself, and J-Lo in her home dance studio, mind you. And then, we just hit it off. We and Booty was born. And we had such a whole different idea of what we wanted to do. We wanted it to be like her Janet Jackson Pleasure Principle. Like, you probably saw in the video 20% of what we had come up with. We had come up with a whole routine, honey. I mean, a whole from top to bottom. Like, she was down. She was down. But then the director, he just like, you know, the creatives, he just had this idea. He was like, oh, I see it like this. And then we'll shoot the dance on the second day. And so it became what it is, which I love. It's beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful video. But that's how it came to be.
My God. I mean, could you, when you were a little tiny tot for Christ, just dancing, did you ever imagine like you would be where you are right now?
To be very honest, yes. I saw it. And that vision alone, when I found out who Debbie Allen was, and when I found out the magic of Paula Abdul and Tina Landon, I was like, I have to do that.
Yeah.
I need to, and I had that vision. I was like, I'm going to curate dance for some big artist. I don't know who. Yes, I do. I wanted it to be Janet Jackson because she is my everything, forever and ever. But I saw it, but then you don't really know if it's going to happen. But just seeing it caused that motivation to really kick into full gear. And that determination, like nothing was going to stop me from being, I didn't even want to dance. I wanted to go straight into choreography. But then I was like, wait, in order to be a good choreographer, you should probably dance. So, I mean, I saw it when I was that young. I didn't know how I was going to get to it. I didn't know if anybody was going to believe in me enough to give me the chance. But to be very honest, I did see it. I felt it in my spirit.
Yeah. And I think that's important is that it's okay to dream big
Yes.
because it is possible. I think we sometimes limit ourselves
Yes.
that I can never, dance in the Super Bowl. Like that's never going to happen. But guess what? There are people who dance in the Super Bowl. Like it's a possibility as long as you keep believing that it's a possibility.
You mean it's time for a testimony.
Here we
You
go.
can tell me that I thought, now granted, I did want to be a choreographer and I'm doing all I can. I'm studying, I'm working my ass off. But you
Hmm.
can tell me that my first music video as a choreographer, you think I thought that my first music video as a choreographer was going to be Run the World with 200 girls and then an extra 50 to 100 minutes,
Yeah.
3-day shoot, 2-week prep with Beyonce? Like, I thought my first video was going to be like something for free on YouTube.
Like for your friend who's a
Right,
singer who like
right,
it's like, hey, you choreograph.
right.
You mind like choreographing some stuff for me real quick?
I literally thought that was gonna be it. I was like, okay, that's how it goes. But
Yeah.
no, and that's why it's humbling because you think that you're gonna go on this path and you come up with this plan for yourself, and then
Hmm.
somebody much bigger than you and I says, "Oh, how about you go this way? How
Yeah.
about you do this? Let's see what you got. Let me put you to the test."
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful. I'm so so thankful.
With your process of choreographing, like how do you approach choreography? Like, do you, because just by us talking, like you've only had like a hop, skip, and a jump to like get it together. But like, it's like, how do you approach it when someone's like, okay, I need this, like,
Um, My main approach is to always remember that it is not about me. It is
hmm
not about my personal feelings or my personal step. I come from a very visceral place, but I'm like, the song is already there telling the story. All
hmm
I have to do is just draw the picture with movement. I don't have to
yeah,
come up with my own story. I don't have to conjure up my own story. The hard part's done.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Just listen to the lyrics. So I like to live with the song so that I can understand what the lyrics are saying to me and how it's telling me to dictate movement.
hmm
Most of the time, you don't get that much time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You really
obviously,
gotta pull, yes, you really gotta pull something out of the crack of your butt. And Beyonce is really good at pushing you in that way because there were many a times where she just wanted a step change right there. And I thought she meant, this is me being naive. I thought she meant she wanted to change right there in this moment while she's standing next to me so I could teach her the step right now. And so I would come up with a step right there on the spot, a plan B. And
yeah,
she literally grabbed my shoulder one day and she was like, "How do you do that?" I was like, "What?" She was like, "You just came up with a whole new dance like right here." But I got nervous because I was like, "But that's what you just asked me to do."
you just asked me to do that, and I got to do it. I got to deliver.
But she was like, "Okay, go think about it and then come back." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh," and that really prepared me beautifully for like the world of television. I just did this show soundtrack, and
Yes.
where there were times where I literally only had 45 minutes to prepare a 2-minute dance
Hmm.
and to like come up with the choreography, teach it, and then shoot it. 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and I'm thankful that what I did first with B was I got pushed to
Yeah.
levels that I didn't even know I could reach. And I'm so thankful for that because now I can carry that into every other project that I do. And
Yes. Now, speaking of soundtrack, which is available on Netflix, which people should watch because we in quarantine. So if you already done ran through all of Netflix and you skipped that show, you can go back and watch it. What, what was that experience like? Because some of the numbers looked like huge like productions and it actually reminds me of because I was just talking to John Clarence Stewart who's on Zoe's extraordinary playlist. It reminds me a lot of Zoe, like these musical numbers that tell the story and happen. What was it like for you putting those numbers together for this show?
I there is not a second I would take back It was so incredible. We shot the pilot in Los Angeles and we shot the rest of the series in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So being away from your normal life, you get to completely submerge yourself into this project. And my thing was, I only read the scenes that had dance. I never read a full script except for the pilot. I
Mm-hmm.
never read a full script because I wanted to go back when it came out. I wanted to watch it again. But the experience, not really knowing what the show was about, was
Mm-hmm.
really exhilarating because I had to put my best foot forward and I had to match the mind of Josh Safran, the creator and the showrunner, who is
Yeah.
so brilliant and put together such a beautiful show. The experience was incredible. The dancers, every single dancer that stepped foot into that rehearsal space and into that set, they just made it so easy and they're
Mm-hmm.
so trustworthy. They were some of the most incredible dancers ever. And that alone made the experience so worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody could not wait for the dance scenes to be shot. Like when I
Yeah.
tell people from Fox and Annapurna, I'm not saying this to brag, this is how incredible the dancers were. Everybody, they would come to set. They wouldn't come for like regular scenes. They would come to set to see the production numbers and they would just sit behind the camera. It would be like 15 people behind
Wow.
the camera just sitting with the executive producers to see those numbers being shot. And that's because the dancers were just super incredible. And so the experience was life-changing in the best way possible. It was great.
My God. And look at that. Like, all the blessings just keep coming in and all the opportunities and all the doors. And guess what? She's ready for all of them. Like, you just,
Hey, hey, you gotta stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready, honey.
exactly. Um, I do want to, I want to touch on this just for a moment. You identify as a Black trans woman.
Yes.
And I feel like for those who often maybe struggle with their identity,
Mm-hmm.
how did you discover yourself and your true identity, and what advice would you give to someone else who may still be seeking, who they really are?
I knew since I was 4.
Yeah.
I actually knew before that. I have a twin brother, like I said, and there's a picture of us side by side in the same outfit. He had
Uh-huh.
a tube of toothpaste and a plastic football, and I'm holding a yellow strawberry shortcake purse, and I'm one of my mom's pumps. And we're 13 months old. We can't even see. We're like 13 months old. And I'm like,
Yeah.
if y'all didn't know then. But I had just always known, like my best friends were Danielle and Tasha, Keita.
Uh-oh. But wait, hold on. You might have froze a second. Did you freeze? Are you still there? Oh, I'm getting the circle. Hold on. Come on, Wi-Fi. Hold on. Hold on, James. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, wait. Is it coming back? Hold on. You in slow-mo on my end. Hold on. Come on. You can see me still? Am I still am I still moving? It must be my spectrum. Ooh, spectrum is so shady. Hold on.
I can see you in real time.
Look, look, you gotta hold on. Let me jiggle you a little bit. See, that's what happened. I had moved it just a second. And then okay, there you go. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Now
Honey,
start back from the top.
you've been doing all these major interviews, honey. You've been talking to all these major people, honey. You just wearing yourself out, honey. You so major.
Listen, I'm just trying to catch up to your status. Like
Okay.
I'm up here like, let me, okay. Look,
No, but
look now everybody is like, James is blurry. Okay, you're both coming back. Not like,
right. Spectrum. Spectrum. You know, we all got spectrum. We all got spectrum around here.
right.
But
Okay, now tell me again.
it was at 4 years old, I know. But
Mhm.
you don't have the language to know what you are. So society tells you you're just gay. But I'm like, no, I'm not a boy who likes boys. I'm one of the girls.
Yeah.
And so, but you grow up thinking you're gay, and it was leaving on the floor actually that really got me really in tune with and being okay with being a woman, the woman that I am, because I had to be in hair and makeup every day, and I got to be treated like a woman, and
Yeah.
that's how I saw myself. So that's how I felt at the inside. Being able to see how I felt really turned on the switch that societal constructs had shut off. And then it was also this thing, I've always been confident in myself and secure in myself, but I
Yeah.
really had to realize other people just don't know who you are. Nobody knows you better than you.
Yeah.
And people can test you, people can try you, but it comes back to you being so good with who you are and just being true to yourself. And then that slaps people in the face where they're just like, oh, you're so true to yourself that I can do nothing about it. So, and
Yeah.
I remember my 9-year-old self, I didn't see a Black trans woman on TV who was represented as a choreographer or represented in the limelight or in the mainstream, or just a person that, because, you know, for years our community has been stolen from, but we never got the
Yes.
recognition. And I just
Yes.
I want to be a face of that. In order to do that, I had to be truthful to myself and live my truth. So that's how we got here. Hey,
Honey, yeah, and you know what? I resonate with that because I knew myself at a very young age. Now, I didn't want everybody to know because it wasn't none of their business.
right,
I was comfortable with myself, but I was comfortable with knowing who really knew me.
right.
But now she's of a certain age, and it's like if you don't know by now, then like I'm not here to explain it to you. You know what I mean? Like
I'm nobody's teacher. I'm nobody's teacher. No.
no. Like I'm living my life. I'm keeping myself safe. I'm being true to me. You doing you. We'll meet in the middle. If you need to know, if you haven't figured it out yet, then we'll talk. If you have a question, you can ask me. But other than that, we just live.
Yes, and my whole thing is let's just be a human to another human. That's
Yeah.
another way I approach dance. I hate the constructs in the dance world. Like women get praised for dancing like men, but then you see a man dancing a bit effeminately, and it's like, oh, ooh, ee, ah, ooh. Why? Why? Let's just be
Yeah.
human to human. If that's what this step requires, give them the praise. And if
Yeah.
human to human requires me living in my truth so that somebody else can, then praise that so that another kid doesn't grow up and want to take their own life or get picked on or feel like they're not worthy or deserving. Like, no, we get that enough from the outside world as it is.
Yes. Yes.
So we're going to do our best in our world so that our people feel safe and comfortable and secure.
Exactly. And it's just, no one is any different because of their sexual orientation or their identity or anything like that. If they are a good person, they are a good person, period. Like,
That's all,
nothing.
period.
Huh?
That's all, period.
Period. Okay, well, before, because I keep having to look at the time because Instagram is going to cut us off. Let me tell you, Instagram cut me off. In the first interview, they said, you got 30 seconds to wrap up. I said,
Oh.
okay, bye. But what I want to say is that I'm so proud of what you've done. I'm so proud that you are living in your truth. And I'm so proud that you didn't give up on yourself and that someone saw the talent that you have and has utilized that. So um, if you're not proud of yourself, just know that I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I thank you. I try. I try. All I can do is at the end of the day be me.
And that's all you can do. And then another thing that you can do is dump them clothes in the trash
Okay,
bag
all
like I
right.
had asked,
All right.
so I can come to the house and get them. And I'm gonna need the drunken love wig as well.
Drunken Love. Okay, she coming through. I'll order her on Amazon for you. But no, let me say how proud I am of you. Seeing where Lounging with Tony, seeing where you've come from to now, and seeing you on Braxton Family Values. And just seeing what you've done is just as awe-inspiring. Make sure everybody next summer you pick up tickets to The Devil Wears Prada, the musical. She'll be choreographing. And watch.
That's right.
Shameless fun.
No, plug it because I totally forgot. I saw the announcement and then it said choreography by James Alsop. I said no, ma'am. I said now listen, and that's when I turned black. I was like, yep, I'm gonna be asking for tickets. I sure am. I am.
And you gonna get
Oh,
some.
and I thank
Mark
you.
my
Okay,
word.
look. Oh, here we go. I got 15 seconds to wrap up because here go
Okay.
Miss Instagram. But look, I adore you. Y'all make sure y'all support James. She's amazing. She's talented. And that's it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.